Why do the children always play the drums when I'm filming? And I gotta be honest with you, it's 18-month-old playing the drums, so it's not like it's catchy. It's not like it's super awesome. I mean, he's getting there. He might be a drum prodigy, but hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is time for you guys to pick the book that I read in the month of May. Actually pick one of the books that I read in the month of May, because you've already picked 4. If you guys feel like all you do these days is pick what I'm about to read, you would be absolutely correct. And I don't see this changing anytime soon. It's working for me. So here's what I decided to do. Obviously from the TBR tournament, which if you haven't watched that craziness, please go back and watch that series of videos. I will link the entire playlist down below. But there were 4 winners for the TBR tournament, 1 in nonfiction, 1 in mystery thriller, 1 in horror, and 1 in romance. Those 4 books are definitely going to be read in the month of May, but I can surely read more than 4 books, right? So I always do a pick my book video for every month. I usually give you guys 5 options to choose from and make them related somehow. Like one month I did only book of the month books, and you get the idea. Well, this time what I'm going to do is present you with 4 wild cards from the TBR tournament itself. These are books that did not win. Basically, they're books that did not win, but they're either books that I know you guys showed a great deal of passion for, or I am really bummed that they didn't win. So one of these books will survive elimination from the TBR tournament. The rest of them will disappear into the void of TBR shelfism for months to come, most likely. Okay, so I did pull 1 book from each of those categories that I mentioned, just to keep it relatively fair. 2 of them are books that didn't even make it past the first round. The other 2 are books that you actually had the opportunity to weigh in on. The first in nonfiction is I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is by Michelle McNamara. This is one woman's obsessive search for the Golden State Killer. This is a really popular nonfiction book, especially here on YouTube or booktube. So I was shocked that this book did not have a high enough rating to beat out its competition in the first round of the TBR tournament. It went up against Death's Acre, which actually made it all the way to the finals, but Death's Acre did have a higher average Goodreads rating. So here we are. But I will revive I'll Be Gone in the Dark and read it for you next month if this is the one that you choose out of these 4 options. Next was my number 1 ranked book in the romance category during that tournament. It is Breakaway by Heather M. Orgeron. This is a self-published romance novel. It didn't make it past the first round, so I didn't have an opportunity to tell you guys about it. This is a second chance romance self-published by one of the authors of one of my favorite romance novels of the last couple of years, Heartbreak Warfare. This is about a basketball player who broke his best friend's heart, and then she fell in love with someone else, and he realized that he did love her, but he ran away. And then fate brings them back together again in the future, and this is basically how they find their way to each other finally. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book, actually, so I'm going strictly on my experience with Heather M. Orgeron as a co-author and just, I don't know, general appeal. Sounds cute. I don't mind a second chance romance or a friends to lovers. It looks and sounds kind of serious, like it has kind of a serious tone, and Heartbreak Warfare definitely did. So let me know if you want me to read Breakaway and save it from its TBR tournament fate. Okay, next in the horror category of the TBR tournament, this was heartbreaking. This was my number 1 ranked book in that category. It is Fantasticland by Mike Bockoven. I have talked about this book now several times, obviously. I hauled it recently, and then it made its appearance in the TBR tournament. It made it to the semifinals, but it did not end up advancing. It lost in the semifinals to the book that ended up winning in that category, The Hunger by Alma Katsu. But this is about an amusement park hit by a hurricane and what happens when responders arrive 2 weeks after the incident and find that the people who were stranded there turned on each other, and it turned into an absolute bloodbath. Let's not kid ourselves. This is a horror novel. So, and one that I've just been really intrigued by for a really long time. This is utterly horrifying and impossible to put down. If you can't tell, I am looking for an excuse to read this. But that is one of your options as well. The last book to appear in this is 100% for you guys. This was by far the book that I got the feeling everybody was most passionate about me reading. Unfortunately, it didn't win in the finals against Hangman. It is The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrup. This book, a lot of you really wanted me to read it. And I'm not opposed to doing so, but it's got to beat out these other 3 books too. Since it didn't win in the finals, it's got to beat these other 3, and I will gladly read it. This is the story of a serial killer who leaves little matchstick figures or little figures made out of matchsticks at the scenes of the crimes. And the most recent figurine was found to have the fingerprint of a high-ranking official's daughter on it, and she has actually gone missing and been presumed dead for like a year. This was the book of the month. It was a pretty popular crime thriller here on BookTube. It was pretty popular in the TBR tournament, and I felt bad saying that it didn't win because a lot of you were really into this book. So here is its second chance. I'm giving it a wild card pass. Let me know if you want me to read The Chestnut Man in the month of May, and I will add it to the pile. I'm only doing 4 books this month in the Pick My Book video because there were 4 categories in the TBR tournament, and this is totally related to that. I'm sure you guys can figure this stuff out. So your options again are The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrup, I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, Breakaway by Heather M. Orgeron, and Fantasticland by Mike Bockoven. Let me know which one of these books gets your vote to be included with the TBR tournament winners on my TBR for May. You guys are awesome for putting up with me being so indecisive and asking you to choose all of these books for me. I appreciate it, and I love to see your participation and getting an opportunity to communicate with you over these books. So thank you again for letting me borrow your votes. I appreciate it, and I will see you all very soon.